So, I started playing Secret of the Mimic recently, spoilers by the way, and I have some thoughts. Even though I haven't completed the game yet, I'm still missing 5 achievements. I think I have played enough to form some opinions on the game. I'm not sure how I feel gameplay-wise, as it is very similar to the Poppy playtime formula, going location to location trying to get various objects that allow you to progress, escaping from the enemies on the way, which I am personally not too fond of, but the rest of the game makes up for it, although, I feel as though everything was very poorly telegraphed. Of course, I don't usually play these games, so part of it was from my inexperience, but I feel as though they could have made the path clearer. For example, the 2 spots where this happened the most were the Big Top section, pre-chase, and the Fazbear Project area. In the Big Top section, I probably spent an hour trying to figure it out, as I thought you had to do something with the glowing numbers on the mannequins, and even when I got to the room with the power, I didn't figure it out because up until that point, levers weren't reusable, and then, either through luck or giving up and looking up a walkthrough, I figured it out. And then, their second problematic section, the Fazbear Project basement. How was I supposed to know that the suits were spring-lock suits? I do have something to compliment this section though. The bit about lowering the power to complete that section was well telegraphed with the tank of molten metal, though I could see how somebody would still be confused. With all that said, I still do appreciate the overall lack of holding your hand and overlays, as the only overlay present was the save icon, which fit the style of the game. The atmosphere and aesthetic of the game is something that took me a while to grow on me, but after the mind-bending amount of time I spent on this game, I can hear its footsteps in my head. I like it quite a bit. I do think I still like the atmosphere of Security Breach better, but this game is close, and I do appreciate the more understandable size of the location also. The jump scares actually got me a few times, and, while the chase sections didn't build that much tension, there were a few times during the stealth sections where I was running from the Mimic to reach a vent, or accidentally touched some chains. I was very stressed while getting to a safe point, so the game did its job well. Also, the moon section was very spooky. People are saying that it's a human, and, while there are some text logs that tell us about some guy that got stuck down there, I doubt that it is a human that is in that suit. I also doubt that M2 is stuck in there, as it just doesn't make much sense for it to just be M2 again in the spooky basement. To all those who don't understand, M2 is the violent version of the Mimic program, that is controlling the Mimic endoskeleton that is chasing us. M1 is Sun, or whatever is left of Fiona. I will make a theory video soon on who I believe the Moon Man is next week. Anyways, I do like the new lore, and the Mimic endoskeleton is a really neat concept, and I love how it moves while shifting forms, as seen in the secret ending. Also, I have no idea how it would operate Jackie or Big Top, as even if the Mimic could extend its arms that long, there is absolutely no way that the Mimic's arms are that flexible, and Big Top just doesn't seem to have the space inside to move all the legs and stuff. Also, the Mimic would have to move on all fours, and I don't think anybody wants to have to visualize this. I do think, even on my third playthrough, the 2 most aggravating sections were Dolly's hospital and Edwin's house, both requiring a lot of backtracking to finish. Also, small nitpick, but I don't understand why the numbers at the end of the colored tapes look like that. They look like assets from that style of low-poly Unity games that was really popular technique they used for the save icon to make numbers instead of using a solid color number. Part of me believes that that might have been something they missed during playtesting and forgot to put in the final decals. I also find it mildly amusing that so many of the issues in this game would have been solved if Arnold, the protagonist, simply reused buttons and levers or jumped or climbed at all. For example, we wouldn't have had to go through the tiger basement at all if Arnold simply broke through these old and moldy wooden boards. Even if they were too hard for him to break, he could have easily crawled through the boards or climbed over them. I also really liked the Moon.X segment, though I was rather disappointed when the Moon.X segment brought us to the costume manor. One last thing, the animations in this game are really good, and I love the lore of this game and Edwin, an inventor who takes so much pride in his inventions that it became his undoing, eventually being the reason for his death.